Tales from the Loop, episode 4. This one's called Echosphere. It's kind of interesting. This one's about the old man who we see in the very first episode. It's kind of sad. I thought it was a sad episode at first until I thought about it. The old man has some sort of issue, health issue. They don't tell us exactly yet what it is, but they seem to imply that he's going to die from it, and they don't know how much time he has. The Echosphere is this big metal ball, and it almost looks like it's about the size of the big machine that they keep in the basement. But it's an empty metal sphere that's kind of sitting out on it looks like a dry lake bed. Like maybe they sat it there and it dried out, or I don't know. When you go and yell into the sphere or talk into the sphere, you can count the echo. When your echo comes back, that basically implies how much longer you have left to live. So somehow the energy that's in the sphere is related to that. And so, of course, the old man takes his grandson out there, and his grandson talks into it and counts. He counts, 6 or 7. So maybe he's got 60 or 70 years left. And the old man, yells into there, and there's no echo, like, at all. So he's like, well, my time's numbered here, right? So he goes, and it almost seems like he's trying to get his affairs in order, right? So he talks to his daughter. I think it's his daughter-in-law, right? His son's wife. Talks to her about the board approved her taking over the project when he's gone. And there's like interesting photos in the background in his office. So there was more information given in the background, which I studied. There was a penny. You see a penny, and it looked like it said the year 1981. So maybe this is set in the 1980s. There was an actual game show on the TV that mentioned Los Angeles. So my initial theory is that this was just a town that was removed from the earth, right? That maybe it's actually on the earth and still connected. But there's some sort of the old man building this facility affected changes. So there's the technology looks old and run down and rusty, but it's futuristic type of things that it does. And so I've tried to analyze like the things we've seen the sphere do, or they call the loop. It's actually the ME, Advanced Physics. I have to look it up. The old man actually says it. I went back and rewatched the first episode, and he says what it stands for. But the people who live there call it the loop. So what we've seen it do, or the technology do, is thought transference. We've seen that happen. Time travel. We've seen someone travel. They traveled at least 20 years, maybe 30. And then go back and get sent back. So time travel, thought transference, time manipulation. So it's almost like a time stoppage. But again, time didn't seem to cease. It just slowed really, really down really far. So like a time manipulation is what I'll call it, like slowing time down for certain people who had that device. Thought transference device. That was episode 2, and then the time travel was episode 1. So again, the old man passes away. He looked like a heart attack or something. It was hard to tell. He just collapsed, and then they kind of had a funeral and dealt with it. But he was having a dream right before that happened. He had a dream that something was calling him, and he went to the big sphere, the loop, and stuck his head in it, and that's when he woke up from the dream. And then I think he died soon after. So. My thought is that a flashback? Like, did he do that in real life and stick his head in it? Or was that just, what he did in the dream? So if he really did do that, like, did he somehow, and this is the thought I had before or after I thought about the episode, how I didn't think it was as sad, is did he somehow upload his consciousness into the machine? because we know it can do consciousness transferal, at least on a short-term scale, the little orb thing from episode 2. And when we go back and rewatch the first episode, which I did, he appears to be the narrator of the show. And he says, he's like, this is the tales. He explains what the facility is. He explains that the locals call it the loop. And then these are the stories of the people that have been affected by the loop, right? So it would only be 3. If he's the narrator, it'll only be 3 stories, right? How would he know of the other 5 stories, or how many more episodes there are going to be if it gets renewed for season 2? How would he know there's more than just 2 or 3 stories, unless his brain, his consciousness has been transferred into this thing, which is what I theorize. I'm getting to think less and less that it's a separate, like, hollow space station. And so I try to figure out all these devices that you see in the background in the show, in the episodes. Like, what does this thing do? What does that thing do? One of them looks like a power grid. And one of them, the things that were on the lake, I don't know if they were preventing ice or causing ice, or that whole situation was fascinating. So it's fascinating to watch all the little pieces and try to put them together. Like, what is this scientifically doing? The stories are good. The actors are all really good. This was a great episode. I'm going to review episode 5 next. Again, there's only 8 of them this season. I'm really excited that it got renewed, because this is a really well-written show. It reminds me of the Twilight Zone. So anyway, if you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.